Hey, what's going on guys? John here, and today I wanted to do a video review for the Vitamix blender. So in this video, I'm just going to walk you through some of the functions of this blender, give you my overall thoughts, and we'll really just go through some of the features of it. I don't have anything here to actually do as a test blend, but I will assure you this thing is actually really awesome once you get it fully set up. So overall, you can see the footprint of this really isn't all that large. We just have this sitting on like a little table that we have here in our kitchen. For power, you have your standard cord that basically gets plugged in. You can see we just have it plugged in over here, and then there's actually a flip switch down here, so you can easily flip it on or off. So when you're not using it, you flip it off, this LED will completely go out, and then when you're ready to use it, you can flip it back on. Now the cool thing about this particular blender is this actually has magnets and sensing capabilities based on the food that you're actually going to be using in it. So if you're really looking to upgrade your blender, you want something that's really going to be able to efficiently blend based on the types of things that you're going to be doing, whether or not it's food processing or smoothies, things like that. This blender has that capability. You have the large lid that's included here, so this actually has a spin piece here at the top base. These actually unclip from the top, and this whole piece actually comes up, and then you also have your pour spout up here at the top. So this is actually fairly easy to maneuver and utilize. You have a very large blade here, as you can see right out in the base, and this will hold more than enough capacity if you wanted to make a nice smoothie for like the whole family or something. You could do this. With this actually off, you can see this has a small piece here. It's almost like a specific sized spinner mechanism that attaches to the blade. This actually has magnets that will sense in, and you've also got the rubber pieces here that fit around. I'm just going to put this down. You have the rubber pieces here that that basically keep it in place, and then that mechanism sits right in the middle. Now in terms of settings, this is basically on the base setting. Once you go to 1, you're now able to flip this up on the right side, and this is going to be used more for smoothies, where the left side is more, I think, for like purees and things like that. It's very simple. You flip it up once and it will automatically run for about a minute in terms of time, and when you're done, if you want to run it more, you know, extend the blending time, you can simply go back to 1 again, flip the switch again, and it will run for that time. I have found with things like ice, it does have like overheat protection, so if you try to immediately go up to like a really high setting, let's say I go all the way to 7 or 8 and I've got ice in there, it will actually shut off on you. So what I recommend is running this on setting like 1 or 2 if you're using something heavier such as ice or other things like heavy fruit, things like that. Start at the low settings, let it run for a minute, and then if you want to continue, you can actually crank it all the way up to those higher settings. It goes all the way to 10. And one thing I really like about this blender, I'm not going to test it here for you guys because my daughter's actually napping in the other room, but the blender isn't really all that loud. We had another blender that was just like a nuisance. Every time you run it, it's like really annoying. You can't even talk to other people. This one's a little bit more moderate in its design. Another thing I really like about this is it's very easy to clean this whole base area that's around this. So if you get like, let's say you get protein powder or something like that on this, very easy to wipe it down. You do have the basically the vent fan here in the back, and overall it does have nice rubber feet, so it's not going to be moving around on you. We had another blender where every time you ran it, the whole blender would literally shift, you know, on its basically where it sat, and this has some really heavy duty rubber feet on the bottom, so it's not going to move around on you. Now another thing you can do with this is you may not want to necessarily utilize this large container every time you make shakes. So they do actually have an add-on, and this is what I got here. You can get this add-on as a separate add-on. It comes with its own blade, and it actually is a full cup. So what I like to do is actually mix my ice. I'll do like some peanut butter, some nice like protein powder, stuff like that, mix in some fruit, and this will make an awesome smoothie. And then you have your own separate cup, which will also attach to this whole setup here. So this is a nice add-on that you can actually get for this, and it works perfectly with the same Vitamix system. So overall, very happy with the Vitamix. I think once you get in tune with it, one thing I'll just note is sometimes the magnets can be a little bit finicky, but it comes down to a matter of just making sure that the lid and everything is tight, and you've got everything set up the way it's supposed to be, right? They're not going to allow you to start mixing when the lid is sort of loose or not tightened properly onto the container. So it's almost like a nice safety mechanism, so you don't end up with massive spills of liquid, you know, coming out all over the place. Anyway, thanks for checking out my video review, and hopefully you found it helpful.